Hi everybody, this is Amber Amethyst. So if you're a fan of animation, then most likely you are familiar with the company Pixar, and they have created a lot of great movies, but their first ever feature-length movie was Toy Story, which will be the subject of today's video. And there have already been a few good theories about Toy Story, as well as Pixar itself as a whole. If you have not checked out the Pixar theory, I highly recommend it because it's so interesting to read how all the movies are connected into one. But I'm actually going to be talking about a different theory today, and that is on Toy Story. What I think is my theory on what's actually going on in the movie Toy Story. So what is Toy Story about? It's about sentient toys who come to life when their owner Andy, as well as every other human being, is absent from the room, right? And the cowboy Woody is Andy's favorite toy, and he's very popular with all the other toys. He's pretty much is the leader of the toys of Andy's room until the new toy, Buzz Lightyear, a spaceman, is introduced at Andy's birthday party, and then everything turns upside down for Woody, leading to jealousy, which leads him to accidentally knock Buzz out the window, which leads to him having to go retrieve Buzz, which leads to the two of them end up fighting, which leads to an adventure comedy with the two, and end up becoming friends and happy ending, right? Well, what if I suggested that none of this actually happened? My theory for Toy Story is that the toys are actually not alive. This is a game that Andy is playing right up throughout the move. There have been some people who've done other theories who suggested that Andy's mom has divorced, and that's why they're moving to a new home. However, I think, while that might be true, I also think maybe Andy's father had died, because we never see him and we never hear the mom say anything bad about his father. We never even hear her mention his father once in the entire movie, which is what leads me to believe that maybe he is dead instead of just a divorce. And it must have happened recently because of the fact that Molly is at most one. Andy never asks about his dad. Andy never asks to see him. Andy never even mentions him in conversation. However, if we look at Toy Story 2, we know that Woody's a very old toy from the 60s. Most likely belonged to his father. So remember, Andy was born, we'd say, if Andy was about 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there when the movie came out, then he was probably likely born in the very late 80s, early 90s. So his father could have been a child around the late 60s when Woody was first introduced, and that's how he had the toy, and it's kept in very good condition, which means he really cared for it. Maybe he even knew himself just how much it was worth, because the mother was not willing to get rid of that toy. She even says to Al, when he tries to buy it, that it's very important to the family. So they're about to move, and this whole game, when Andy gets this new toy, this whole game is basically him trying to deal with what's happened, the death of his father, which I think his father is represented by the toy of Woody, because I think it's easy to believe that Woody did belong to Andy's father. And that his father gave him that toy, probably explained to him just how important that toy was to him. And then when he gets this new cool toy, it's just like everything in the future that he has to look forward to. And so he has a clash between what's old, what he knows and which is old and familiar that he knows in Woody, and what is new and still kind of scary, because he'll be moving soon, a whole different new life, through Buzz. And so I think that the entire story of Toy Story is just a game, just something that Andy is imagining as he's playing with the toy. So he's actually the one who makes up the story of Woody knocking Buzz out of the window. He makes up the story about them trying to get back. I mean, clearly I don't know if he's on good terms with Sid, but clearly he knows him because he lives right next door. I'm sure they've been to barbecues and birthday parties and whatnot, just because they live right next door. I mean, they might have even hung out at times, even if Andy doesn't approve of the way that Sid plays with his toys. So he also incorporated Sid, because he sees how Sid treats the toys. He doesn't like that, so he made Sid, using things that he knows, made Sid the villain in his own story. Maybe Sid even helped out as part of this game. He might even been over at Sid's house, and they're playing this game together. And then at the end, where as Andy himself comes to realize the fact that he can still hold on to the past while embracing the future, is when Woody and Buzz start to become friends, and then eventually at the end, when everything's happy, when he does move into the new house, he does realize that his memories of his father and his old home, and he can still be happy in his new home without having to abandon what was in the past, and that's how it ends up on the happy ending, with everything back to normal. So this was just something that I was thinking about when thinking about Toy Story, is just like the fact that kids sometimes when they're going through something, they'll actually, some of them will discuss it, but others will take more artistic approach to it, including play, and it's something that I thought was quite a possibility. It is an interesting theory that I came up with. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree or disagree with this theory? Do you have anything you'd like to add? Or any theories you yourself might have about Toy Story? If you like this video and would like to see more like it, you can always subscribe to my channel. I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.